Whether you're watching, listening or reading this, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we are on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It's a staggering 40,075 kilometres, and I'll even do it barefoot style. It's going to take somewhere between 14 and 15 years to accomplish, so a truly epic target, but it gives me plenty of time to raise the money. So those of you regulars will know that I vlog about all things entrepreneurship and running, and it is a beautiful day today. About 11 degrees, the sun is out, little wind, so great running conditions. And it is Wednesday Wellbeing today, where we talk about all things mindset, well-being. So today's topic is, if you're on the right path, be positive. Don't be negative about not being at the destination. So if you like this episode, give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So this is a really important topic, and so many people get this wrong, myself included, all throughout my life really, is that I've always been on the right path to where I was going. I was very clear of that in my early 20s when I think 21, 22 when I bought my first property, and I always knew what my path was, and I knew that I had to go into the corporate world for a couple of years just to cover me until I had enough income to take the step out into business ownership. And throughout the journey I've always been on the path, but I've always been so fixated on the actual destination, and to be honest with you, I didn't really know what that destination looked like until relatively recently. And the destination to me is happiness, and it's what is going to ultimately make you as happy as possible. And when I look back on my life, I started off as a super ambitious, hungry guy who wanted to build a business, take over the world, be like multi millionaire type level. And since I've got older, I'm 39 now, my net worth is well in excess of that, but my actual cash producing income doesn't. I'm not like a cash rich millionaire by any stretch, and I thought that was the goal, but it's not anymore. And it was like that was the goal of so many other people, so I may as well do the same. So it really comes from when you have to unearth what happiness really means to you. And to me, I'm not materialistic. Okay, I have a nice house, I have a nice car, but neither of them are like top of the level mansions or supercars or anything like that. I'm comfortable in normal clothes and attire. There's not a lot in my life that I'm materialistic about. What is important with me more than anything is my children's legacy, so protecting the future for the children and children's generations to come, and holidays. That's memories that I can make with my children. So I'm on the, COVID has restricted us, but I'm kind of at the level now where I can have my 4 holidays a year, we can live comfortably, and I can put money away for the children's legacy. So I'm well on the way. The only thing that's not the destination, that will probably, until I get enough money put away for my kids' futures to be comfortable that I know that I've given them the best chance in life. And I need to do the math on that to work out exactly what it is, but I'm not there yet. That's my destination. But historically, it was to be as rich and have the biggest and best things I could possibly have. And that's not really tangible, it's just what everybody else wants. So you kind of put yourself in the same bracket. But I think understanding what is your happiness, what is true happiness to you, and it's often far more attainable and far more achievable than you may think. So the moral of the story is that I'm quite a long way down that journey now to being where I want to be. I'm not 40 yet. I hope to be further down the line at 40, but I may reach that destination, but then I'll set a new one, because I'm not going to retire at 40. I love what I do too much. My work isn't work to me. But I think the really important thing to identify here is too many people even though they're on the right path, they're doing the right things. Because they're not at the destination, they're negative about things, because they see other people who are further down their journey, or other people who've reached their destination, and they seem to think that comparing themselves to others, they're not where they need to be. So stop comparing yourself, but ask yourself openly and honestly, are you on the right path? If you want to run a 7-figure business, then have you started your business? Have you got a business plan? Have you got seed capital if you need seed capital? Have you got your financials forecasted? All these things that, if you're really early, these are things you need to start doing to get you on that journey. Whereas if you're already on that journey but you're not at 7 figures yet, then you're on that journey. So just be really positive and happy the fact that you're on that journey. So many people never get to start the journey they want, and I think that's quite eye-opening when you think about it that way. So be content where you are, as long as you're on the right path. And when I say the right path, be in the right direction, because it's quite likely that the path you go down, you're going to get a few kinks and a few dead ends. You have to turn back and find an alternative path forward. That's okay. So be in the right direction, okay, and persevere, and you will find the right path. It might not always be the quickest path, but as long as you're in the right direction, you will get to that end result. And be positive and content. If you're positive and content about what you're doing, it becomes a hell of a lot more enjoyable. If you're just beating yourself up all the time, you're putting extra stresses and pressures on yourself, which I always talk about this blog about the importance of relieving your mind of the daily, weekly pressures in the form of stresses that evolve to overwhelm and then evolve to anxiety. And you're doing yourself a favour here by not putting additional, stresses that don't have to be stresses on yourself. So hopefully this is a bit of a mindset shift today. I'm not going to go on about it too much longer, but to summarise, if you're on the right path or the right direction to your goal, be happy. Be positive about that. Don't be negative that you're not at the end point or the destination yet. Okay, it's really, really important you do that. And then you're flipping a really positive part of your life from a negative stance to a positive stance. And if you don't know what the destination is, what's the definition of happiness to you? And then what is a viable process or vehicle to get you there? So if your destination is monetary, what is the vehicle to generate that money? That's what you then need to identify to get on the right path. 9 times out of 10, it won't be an employed position, but in some cases that may be. So you have to ask yourself some pretty tricky questions to be able to give yourself a clear and concise answer. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, if you've got any questions on this, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger question, I'll do a separate blog episode and tag you in. And all I have to say is that check out the bios in my social profiles, where we're about to have the blog, podcast and YouTube channel up, so that you can watch, listen or read this. And also it's all catalogued nice and neatly by playlist, so you can always find relevant information to your situation. So I hope that's useful. And also, most importantly, keep up to date with the challenge of raising £1 million by run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of 1 lap around the planet. So please support me as any way you can on that, even if it's just sharing the message to get more followers, because I need to reach a massive audience to have any chance of raising that £1 million. So all I have to say is that my content is always geared around helping people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, in my example running, as a release mechanism to relieve those daily, weekly pressures, those stresses that every one of us experience. And if you don't do that, or you don't have that release mechanism, okay, it's like pressure that builds up in a pipe. So those stresses, that will evolve if you don't do anything about them, and clear your head, don't process them, don't have clarity, refocus and move on, then those stresses are going to build up and they'll turn into overwhelm. And then when you get overwhelmed, you've got too many things going around in your head, you kind of have a seizure and you freeze, and you then start procrastinating, and then the overwhelm then turns into anxiety. You start panicking that you're not making any progress. And I think when you get to that stage, it's horrendous. Okay, and then one of two things generally happens: you have a breakdown, or if it's business related, your business has a breakdown. So it's really, really important to kind of understand that. And I've been there before, by the way. I've lost multiple businesses because of my inability to manage these emotions. I've lost multiple business partners, and I've almost been bankrupt because of this. And it's an incredibly dark place, and I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. And the social proof is there now, because there's no coincidence. In the last 10 months of doing this running blog, which is my release mechanism, I've made more progress in my life than I have in the previous 4 years. So my pledge to you is that if you are someone struggling with this, just drop me a message, okay? There's no catch here. I don't sell anything on this blog. It's all value giving and, you know, philanthropy. It's all about raising money for the greater good. However, I also give a huge amount of value and don't charge either. There's never a sale involved. So if people want to donate, they donate, but there's never a sale involved. So just drop me a message, we'll arrange a call, and I'll go through the things that have made a life-changing difference to my life, and I know that they're transferable to yours, and we'll get you back on the right path. So help is always there. It often comes from strangers more than nearest and dearest, and you just have to have the courage to ask for it, and it doesn't always cost anything as well. And I always said that if this vlog just helps one person or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, if you like this episode, please give it a like, a comment and a subscribe. Do check out the links in my bios where you can see my blog, my YouTube channel, podcast, or follow me on the social platforms. And everything's catalogued nice and neatly by topic, so you should be able to find relevant information, and more importantly, keep updated with the challenge to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days, 1 lap around the world. So all that's left to say is stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.